y'all. Welcome back to another Free Our Mind Fridays.
Let's get liberated.
Hey, it's your co-host, Julie.
And Leilani.
Yes, welcome everybody to another First Friday episode. And in this episode, we're talking about gratitude, the attitude.
The attitude
Uh,
of gratitude. Gratitude is the attitude. Coming at you live.
absolutely.
Today is December 1st. We're gearing up for the holiday season, wrapping up our
Mm.
year, ending off strong.
Yes, yes. And Lay and I really just wanted to bring in the energy of gratitude and also share with you lovely people on how we tap into gratitude, what is gratitude, what's genuine gratitude. And we're going to be talking about the facts, research, even practices that include like physical, personal, using your senses. So we're gonna get all up in it. But first, we need to do some housekeeping. I'm gonna pass it off to you, Lay.
Yeah, so just a couple quick announcements. In a couple weeks, we usually do the third Friday of every month. We post a blog following
Mhm.
our actual podcast episode. So if you prefer reading, then we have that for you. Julie is our writer, or am I the writer
I
this month?
believe you're the writer for
Okay.
December.
Okay. So me and Julie take turns. And this month, December 15th, we'll be dropping our gratitude is the attitude blog post where you can basically see in written form all of the things that we talk about during our blog. So feel
Mhm.
free to visit our website for that, www.baypeace.org. The
Yes.
other announcement that we have is that Baypeace is part of the Free Our Kids Coalition, and we are doing juvenile justice reform work in Alameda County with a bunch of other dope, amazing community organizations. And every month we host what's called a youth coach up with our comrades, 67 Sueños, Young Women's Freedom Center, Ella Baker Center,
Hmm.
Courage, Urban Peace Movement, and we just convene young leaders and young people who want to be activated in this movement. And we do some political education, we do some community building, we do some wellness work. The next one is on December 13th, Wednesday, December 13th from 4 to 6 p.m. So if you want to check us out, come through, follow our Instagram, Baypeace510 for more details. We usually post a flyer maybe 2 weeks in advance,
Yes.
1 to 2 weeks. So that's all my announcements for today. Until later.
Yes, yes. And really encouraging young folks to come through. It's such a good time to, we do a lot of community building games, and it's really just a beautiful time just to get together, laugh with one another. And there's free food, free dinner, and usually it's always smacking. So come through, y'all. We love seeing new faces. All right, so should we just hop into why this topic? Why
Yes,
gratitude?
please. Why
Um,
not?
why not gratitude? Ooh, okay, I like that. Yeah, so when Lay and I were talking about what should we talk about in this new episode, I really started feeling the heaviness of like the holidays coming up. Christmas, there's like Thanksgiving, there's even New Year's, and there's a lot of stuff that's been going on in the world, a lot of sad stuff. I feel like the world's mourning together, and not even just like external, but there's also like folks like losing a lot of people, close people. I feel like this year we've lost a lot of people in our lives and externally too. And I don't know, just being like super transparent, I just been feeling a little heavy. My emotions have been heavy, but also I haven't been in like a horrible situation. Like I should be happy. I should be grateful for what I have, you know? And sometimes it's really like not that easy just to be positive in a world that is surrounding like negativity in the media, and sometimes like real life is crazy. So we really just wanted to start thinking about gratitude, the attitude, and having it with us and remembering it. And even starting gratitude, it's also so many things that come like behind it as well, not just like doing daily practices, but there's like a whole science about it that we'll get into a little later. Um, so yeah, we just wanted to open up the space so not only y'all could feel these like tips and tricks and sciences around gratitude, but also even like us lay of just really talking about something real and that what makes us feel really good in our day-to-day lives. And we just wanted to share it, the season of giving and gratitude.
Yeah, I'm really glad we picked this topic for the last month of our podcast because it's been such a heavy time lately.
Mhm.
I think, our entire team has been feeling that same heaviness that you've been talking about, and folks around the world, right, in the movement. And it's also such a peak time where there's so much societal pressure and social pressure for consuming and buying things and like gift giving, you know what I mean? And sometimes
Hmm.
that gets really hard when, you may not got it like that come this time.
Right.
And even in January, the trend is like,
Mm.
okay, New Year's resolution, New Year, new me. These are
Right.
all the new things I want to do
Throw it
and grow
all
and
out.
accomplish, right? But before we even think about growth, like I think it's so important to think about like what we do already have.
Absolutely.
And it's like more of that I'm doing this training for y'all, Julie, but it's kind of related. It
Oh.
makes me feel kind of related. But it's about thinking of the difference between an asset-based framework versus a needs or deficit-based framework, right? Instead of
Mm.
focusing on what we don't have, what we need to do, what we got to do,
Right.
we're taking time first to think about, the richness in our lives and things that already exist that do
Yeah.
sustain us and that are good for us and that even that we
Mm.
are doing well.
Yeah. No, I really love the point when you were talking about just even it being the holidays and we're making our wish list and everything. And first
And we're
off,
checking it twice.
yes. No, absolutely. Like, I mean, shoot, I'm going through my wish list like, ooh, look, I need this. I want this, right?
Girl, just this morning I was like, man, I know what I want for Christmas.
Right. And then like for me, one of my main thing is like clothes, right? I'm like, oh yeah, I want some new clothes. And I'm like, hold on, my closet is filled with clothes. And I just did a little closet clean out too. And so I be thinking, why am I always so quick to ask for something new? Because
hmm
in like media or, seeing other folks, just it's really
Yeah.
like a lot of media lately of just, oh, you need this and you need that. And so
All
you
the
could be this
ads is like,
person.
and all the sales too. It's like, oh, Black Friday
Yeah.
sale, get your gifts.
Yeah. And it's like, hold on, hold on, hold on. Like, I really like how we're coming back to the attitude of gratitude and really just acknowledging what we have currently. And it just is so important to talk about, like you said, instead of just saying what we need, but just like, how can even like right now, speaking from like a house perspective, right? I just got
hmm
like my new place and I think it's the best thing in the whole entire world, right? But then I go on the media and it's like, oh, well, you need this for your house and you need this kind of style for your house. And I don't technically need to buy things to make my space better. Girl, let me just utilize the stuff that I literally already have and maybe like move it here and there, to like fit whatever. But I just think that like highly consuming material things is just it's really bad for like the mental health, even the physical health too.
Right.
So I'm
Right.
really happy that we both get to just like unpack this. And I'm pretty sure for anybody who's listening, y'all are gonna be feeling it to the heart.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's move on to the research and science and mental health benefits of even gratitude for folks who probably already know what gratitude is, or for the folks who have no idea, they've heard about it and are just kind of coming into it.
Yes. Yes. So we're going to dig into all the scientific research studies that professors have done about gratitude. But I really wanted to share this quote because for me personally, once I really started integrating a daily gratitude practice, I feel like I really began to kind of transition out of the darkest periods of my life. Like, and so there's this quote. I used to have a roommate not in high school, in college. His name was
Mm.
Ken. Shout out to Ken Chang if you're listening. What's up, man? Tell Anna and the baby. Say what's up. But anyways, Ken, he was this really, really cool, down to earth dude. He was like a theater major, but he was one of the most jovial, like, no matter what he was going through, he was always like so joyful and present. And like, even if he wasn't hella happy, he still seemed like really open. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he told me this quote: your attitude determines your latitude. And of
Mm.
course, attitude and latitude rhyme with gratitude. And the
Right.
topic just made me think of the quote.
Mm.
Um, but I think it's so important to think about like how we have the power to determine our attitude,
Yeah.
and then how our attitude really determines like the trajectory of the actions that we take and like the path that we walk on a day to day. Like if you got a bad attitude about something, like, oh no, that's not going to work, oh there's no way,
Hmm.
then you're not even going to open yourself up to that possibility. Or like if I'm thinking about myself and I'm like, oh, I was so bad at that workshop. Oh, I'm such a bad mentor. Why did I do
Right.
that? And I just go on this spiral. Like sometimes I go on this spiral and I'm an overthinker, and it just takes me deeper and deeper into the dark. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it heightens my anxiety. It like worsens my insecurities.
Yeah.
But if I shift my attitude and I'm like, I don't really know about that, but you know, I'm optimistic. Maybe there is
Hmm.
something that could be good for me. What's the worst that could go
Hmm.
wrong? Instead of thinking what's the worst, it's like what's the best that could happen? You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And
Yeah.
putting more emphasis on that, then at least I'm opening myself up to the possibility of
Right.
the things that could emerge had I not. It's like you miss, what's that saying? You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
Mm.
And even when it comes to, how I think about myself and my life and how I show up in my performance, when I have the mindset of like, man, I tried my best, even though I wasn't perfect or I didn't do everything I wanted to do, I know I gave it my all. And I know
Yeah.
I did my best. And at least, these were the good things that came of it. Then I'm going to
Absolutely.
be able to continue to carry myself in the mindset of like, higher thinking and continuous evolvement and growth. So I think our attitude just, it can be really detrimental to
Mm.
our life path and our choices and our outlook on things.
Yeah, I absolutely 100% feel that. I think like when you shift your mentality or just like how you approach things too,
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
just changes so much of your outcome,
Right.
honestly.
Right.
And a lot of folks, like, I grew up with brothers, okay? I'm the
Mhm.
youngest of my brothers. I have three older brothers. So you get
Mhm.
like, they're the ones that are like totally just going crazy up in the world and just like going hella hard and stuff. And when
Yeah.
I actually was um first going through my, spiritual awakening, gratitude was one of the first things I actually learned. Um and I didn't know what I wasn't going into it for an outcome. I was just like, something needs to something
Right.
needs to help me
Something
out.
needs to change.
And growing up, I always just was in this kind of, and I was a teenager, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
when you're a teenager, you're like, screw this, screw that, like nothing works out in my favor, I'm
Yeah.
just a little kid. And gratitude was kind of like just taking initiative of your outcome and your future.
Mhm.
So I like this attitude determines your latitude, and it doesn't have to be so far either, It could
Mhm.
even just be for that moment.
Right.
You have hell anxiety going into work. Well, like, take a step back and maybe your end of your workday will be actually kind of nice, Um, and so I started doing a lot of gratitude or approaching my days. There was a time where I did not want to go to school when I was first
Mhm.
starting to think about gratitude. I just would have a lot of anxiety and is that stigma of just like, I need to go to school, blah, blah, blah. And actually approaching my day with gratitude and appreciation. Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful going to school. It was like,
Mhm.
oh, I noticed this teacher that I never noticed, but they're actually really cool.
Right.
Or just kind of like approaching the world just so different. And I didn't go home feeling wiped out anymore of going to school. I just felt kind of like satisfied like with the day. Maybe it wasn't always like the best day in the whole entire world, but like, girl, like a day above ground is a best day for me,
Right.
honestly.
Right. Right.
And you're kind of started to feel kind of that just that mentality of like, wow, like I'm really here. Like I'm really here getting to live like another day, waking up.
Right.
It it'd be hard. It'd be
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
But like that attitude determines your latitude of just going further even mentally that you never thought you could.
Mhm. Yeah. I think it just keeps us in a higher energy state, like a higher
Yeah.
frequency of energy that allows us to kind of just grow more and be more open as opposed to being stuck and confined and like in that
Right.
downward spiral. And it's something so simple
Exactly.
and so easy to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. You know, with I seen something when I was having anxiety. Something came up. I forgot where it was. It's probably like Facebook or something. Facebook sometimes be having like some crazy gems that be coming up. But one of the things of like if you're having like an anxiety attack or just high anxiety, they had you focus on your senses. And I really liked it was like identify like five things
Hmm.
you see, five things you
I see,
feel,
I
five things you
smell, I
taste.
feel.
Yeah. And then one of them was just like five things you're grateful for. Like just go, just go like off the top of your head. Because it's like shifting your brain.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should definitely do, I would love to do an episode on grounding practices and resource like
Mm-hmm.
that, which you just shared.
Yes.
That's a perfect example of a grounding practice. And I think grounding practices are so beneficial because we're really empowering people to ground themselves and heal their own nervous systems in the
Mm-hmm.
instant of like, it can take you less than 5 minutes to do these types of things and
Yeah.
literally shift your whole nervous system, calm all your
Mm-hmm.
nerves from whatever moment you're being triggered by. And it can be so
Yeah.
empowering. And it costs
Yeah.
nothing but
It
time
costs
and
nothing.
energy.
And like we have every given right to feel calm and collected. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
yeah, it doesn't
We
cost to be
should.
that. It's taking like initiative back instead of just being all free flowing and crazy into your mind.
Right, right. So tell us about this Robert Emmons
Yes.
gratitude research journalist.
Yes, y'all. So when I first started talking about gratitude, I don't know why. I think it comes with age, but I never feel like I'm like, oh, where did this come from? People say like there's a logical person and then there's an emotional person, and it's always separate.
Mm.
So,
Yeah,
for
like
like
you're one or the
example,
other usually.
yes. So I'm more like emotions based, and then my brother, hi Vincent, if you're listening, he's totally logical. So when we would have these conversations about gratitude or affirmations or something, I would just be like, "Oh, let's feel that." And he's like, "I need to know exactly who this comes back to." So I kind of like threw his shirt on and like threw stepped in his shoes when I was talking
Hmm.
about or thinking about gratitude. And I was like, "Where the heck? Like who does this research, right? To
Yeah.
share with us?" And so I did a lot of research, and it all comes back to this professor at UC Davis. He's a psychologist, and his name is Robert Emmons. This
You
is
have to look
exactly
him
this.
up. He down the street.
Absolutely, yes. I watched this one video about, he speaks all about gratitude. I mean, I'm totally like not into science or anything like that, so I can't even like get into all of those details, but I will link the video down below in the description
Hmm.
with so you guys could watch. But he actually, out of all of his research, he comes up with a definition. And I mean, he's researched gratitude, and then he also researched toxic gratitude. And I could like
Hmm.
speak into a little bit of that, but toxic gratitude is just like not acknowledging the reality, just being in like la la land of like
Right.
kind of stuff. So he talks a little more about that, but his definition, that he noticed the people who started doing all the gratitude practices or speaking gratitude, the definition he came up with is a deep appreciation for what you have received.
Hmm.
So,
He's a
um,
founding editor and editor-in-chief of the Journal of Positive Psychology, and his research
mm,
focuses on the psychology of gratitude and joy as they relate to human flourishing. Okay, I need you in my life, Dr. Emmons.
right, right. And the joy, I mean, appreciation,
Right,
joy,
that
gratitude.
joy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even
that's
like
so
receiving.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm really interested to see like how do you feel when you hear this definition, a deep appreciation for what you have received? Because
Hmm.
that receiving part is kind of a little, to me, in my opinion, is a little more one-sided. You get me? So
Hmm.
like, oh, I'm so grateful for my house. Well, I received my house. I wasn't just born into my house, or
Hmm.
I had to work for my house, right? So yeah, I just
Hmm.
wanted to see like how do you feel about hearing that definition that he has come up with?
Um, it makes me think about all of the things that kind of come unto us. It just makes me think about blessings, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, It's funny whenever anybody and even strangers, especially strangers, when random conversation, they're just like, "Oh, how are you today?" You know what I mean? And most people are just like, "No, I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm good." Me, my go-to answer is like, "I'm blessed." And
Yes.
I just noticed that whenever people hear me say that, they kind of double take me. You know what I mean? Like they don't
Right.
really expect that answer. And so when I hear this quote, it makes me think about that, how I'm always striving to be in the attitude or in the mindset of like, regardless of what I'm struggling with, regardless of what I'm going through, no matter what obstacles I'm facing on a day to day, whether I'm mad, sad, happy, joyful, or whatever, I know I'm always blessed. And I know
Mm-hmm.
that blessings are the things that come unto me.
Yes.
And you're right, like sometimes we're not just born blessed, even though we are,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like we
Right.
are, there are things that we just inherently receive, like life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Life itself
Mm-hmm.
is a blessing, and it's something that we were given, we have received, we were just born unto life. But there's also things like that you said that we have to work for. We have to put
Right.
in time and energy and effort in order to receive them. Like housing, we got to do the work, not just to find and secure and put in deposit, but we also got to make sure we have a job or are securing enough income to then pay our rent or our mortgage so that we got
Uh-huh.
a roof over our head. Um,
Yep, but that blessed feeling or that word even is like what we have received, having to, pay that monthly rent of
mhm,
like having to get that job, right? Even it's just like
mhm.
I'm completely blessed or appreciative of, having a job that helps me reach my goals here and there.
Right, right, right.
So what we have received or just have.
Yes. And so when you brought this definition, it also made me want to look up the Oxford Dictionary definition.
Hmm.
I don't know, I love looking up definitions of certain words and topics
Me
because it
too.
really
My
shows
dad,
you what society thinks
yeah,
about, this
yeah, I
word.
was always so interested in definitions, and like you can learn a lot just by looking in the dictionary. But when I was a little kid, my dad would literally sit me down when I would get home from school, and he's like, "All right, look this
Look up
random
different
word."
definitions.
Yeah, yeah, and it was like I think it was so fun just because you learn so much from looking at
Right.
definitions.
Like, what even is that thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the Oxford definition: the quality
Yes.
of being thankful and readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. So the reason I
Hmm.
really wanted to highlight this definition is because I felt it's also really important to incorporate that piece around like readiness to show appreciation
Hmm.
and to return the kindness. Because
Yes.
I think about gratitude in the sense of our relationships. I believe that relationships are a lot more fulfilling and sustainable when there is a practice of gratitude, and when like gratitude is a quality within the relationship.
Hmm.
Because if not, then people feel like they're being taken advantage of or being taken for granted. But then it
Right.
begs a question of like, what does that look like, right? Like, what does
Hmm.
it look like to really express gratitude for the people in your life who show you support?
Yeah.
And like that reciprocity for me, if I don't experience reciprocity, like it's one thing to say thank you, right? And it's
Hmm.
one thing to be like, I appreciate you. But it's
Right.
another thing to kind of like, be of support to me when I need it, in the same way that I was of support to you when you need it.
Hmm.
And
Absolutely.
not even just waiting for a person to ask, but being willing to like, oh, is this something that I could do for you? You know what I mean? Or like, is
Yeah.
this something that could be helpful for you? And it's like having willingness to show that for our people, I think is really important.
Yeah. I really like this definition too because it has the action to it, the return
Right,
kindness. And
right.
even hearing it the action part is ideal to our minds when we first hear it. And then I
Mm-hmm.
also think about you just being grateful and appreciating what you have on a day-to-day basis. Bro, you're
Mm-hmm.
just even nicer, honestly.
Yeah.
Like you're not
Yeah.
hella uptight and like having this
Right.
crazy whole heavy ass energy. Like I even just think about that of just like that's even returning kindness and just being, cool and happy and not like so negative or anything. Because when you start appreciating a lot, your energy and like your aura just gets so much lighter and like colorful. I even think about that too of like I don't know when someone's not in a state of gratitude or on like
Mad for it because they over there passive aggressive, all
right.
huffing and puffing. But you know
Yeah.
what? One of the best feelings in the world to me is
Hmm.
when I make food and I make a whole meal and then I feed
Ooh.
people, and then people
Mhm.
are like, "Ooh, you made this? Ooh, this is
Yeah.
good. Ooh," you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like when they
Yes.
actually like and are expressing their
Yes.
like the pleasure that you brought them through like these foods. I don't know. There's just something so fulfilling about being able to return or like
Yeah.
give a be of service or be some kind of support to others, whether it's being able to feed you or uplift you or whatever it is that improves your well-being. I feel like for me feels fulfilling, but I
Mhm.
especially feel good when people eat my food. And I spent hours in the kitchen doing all the tedious work.
Right. No, yeah, like enjoying your
Mhm.
food. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
We're gonna for sure talk about that even part in the practices as well.
Right.
'Cause a lot of it is internal and external. It's, they both coexist. And
Mhm.
believe it or not, even gratitude coexists as well, internally and externally.
Right.
Um, yeah, so those are just some definitions for y'all. And then with my research as well, of like the sciences and all of that, they actually did a lot of research and physical experiments of just even what happens in your body when you feel more gratitude. And I just wanted to share it with y'all and Yule, because it's just like I think it's really some folks for the logical people, uh, and less emotional, they want sciences, they want outcomes. So this is for y'all, okay? So what happens in your body when you feel more gratitude? Even thinking positive rewires your brain. So, like how Lay and I were saying of gratitude being determines your latitude. When I was talking about my like days of going to school and all that kind of stuff, I was rewiring my brain to think more positive in school or the outcomes or whatever. So when I was thinking about more gratitude of what I'm grateful for, or just appreciating my day-to-day basis, like that teacher I never noticed, or that beautiful tree that's in the courtyard that I've never noticed either, it was rewiring my brain to feel a lot more appreciation for every day and not just once in a while. So yeah, it rewires your brain. Um, and then you're also, with that example, is teaching yourself of scanning the world instead of negative, but positive instead. And I really think I love that just because when I was a kid, I always used to go out with my grandma. Okay. My grandma is like, she's aged like fine wine. Okay. She's lived so many lives. And she always used to say things of like, look at that, look at that tree. It's so beautiful. And me being
Yeah, I love
hecka
this one.
young, I was like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Like,
Right. Like
it's
it's
just
just a
a tree.
tree. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's so
But
important though. Like learn like it's like shifting your entire outlook on life and the world
yeah,
around you.
yes, scanning the world of, it makes me think of like in a video game when you're like in the lens or something and like you see something and it like rectangles it red or something. It's like that, but for positivity of just
Mm-hmm.
like that tree's so beautiful, or that person's so
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. Um, yeah, so it actually just shifts your brain. It also triggers a positive chain of reaction. So when you're thinking positives, some positive outcomes are going to come to you. Just like if you're thinking negative, some negative outcomes are going to come to you. It's what you're welcoming. And like how you were saying, Lay, of like welcoming that positive chain of reaction. And then lastly, it also releases dopamine. There's a
Right.
lot of science in there, but dopamine is like that feel good. Um, what is it? It's like it just feels really good. There's a
The
lot of
feel good
other things.
hormone.
This feel good hormone. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Ooh, I'm so into hormone hacking.
oh, we should do that for another
It
episode.
plays a role in many important body functions, including movement, memory, and pleasurable reward and motivation.
Yes, y'all. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of we could even talk about a
Okay.
lot
I
of
like how
different.
there's a connection between gratitude and like pleasure too. I had
Yeah.
just done a post about that because pleasure,
Yes.
joy, these are two things I've been thinking a lot about in my life lately. And
Love it.
one important thing to me around pleasure is expanding how I think about what pleasure even is, like it's not
Hmm.
just this thing that you experience when you're engaging in like sexual activities, but it's like
Right.
being able to take pleasure even in the little things. Like I really take pleasure in my daily lattes in the morning. Like my
Yeah.
Nespresso machine is probably the best gift I ever got in my life because I use it
Right.
every single day.
Absolutely. Yes. For me, I'm so boring, but mine is cleaning.
Mm, yeah, like you feel
Cleaning.
good.
I
You
feel
did that.
pleasure in cleaning, especially even after the aftermath cleaning. It just feels so good. And that's dopamine. We're releasing hormones that those
Right.
feel good hormones.
Yeah, and I think that's really key about how dopamine is connected to motivation. Because you know how we
Hmm.
were talking about how it determines your latitude, right? Like if you're in this deficit, negative, whatever the opposite of gratitude, like ungrateful thing, then it's like it lowers your dopamine. You have less motivation. But
Hmm.
the more gratitude you have, if you're releasing dopamine into your system, you're going to have more motivation to continue on, and kind of persevering beyond whatever struggle or obstacle you might face.
Hmm. Yes. So for the logical people or even some emotional, these are really good reasons on why you should be, practicing gratitude right now, starting
Right.
today.
Yeah. And gratitude is not just an attitude, it's also a practice. So we're going to get
Hmm.
into some tips and practices, things that, we just believe are important practices that have helped us and could
Yes.
potentially help y'all. And so the first
Yes.
thing is feeling deep appreciation and also expressing deep appreciation, but also making room to acknowledge like the harsh struggles of reality, right? Like just
Hmm.
because we are in the attitude of gratitude or practicing gratitude doesn't mean that things are all hunky dory, rainbows, glitter, sunshine. No,
Hmm.
like the struggle still gets real, life still
Right.
be lifing. So
Life
while
really
it's
be,
important, it really do be life, life be
it
lifing.
really
Like,
do be
and I
lifing.
think it's important to have that balance of like being a realist and like, man, this shit is
Yes.
hard and these are the things that I'm currently struggling with. And I also appreciate that I have the life, where
That.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
employed, or I have a roof over my head, or I
Mm-hmm.
ate a meal, you know what I mean? Or I know I
Yes.
have somebody in my life who loves me or cares about me, like
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, because even in our wellness one-on-ones, or our, one-on-one check-ins, you know how I
Mm-hmm.
shifted from like that whole stride, before
Mm-hmm.
it was like celebrations and strides. But this
Yeah.
past month, I shifted that stride portion to be more inclusive of like struggles, right? So now that my agenda for next month is like celebration, struggles, and strides, because sometimes it's just important to name that shit is hard and be able to name what is hard and what even is that we're struggling with, and just keep it real in that sense. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not like an instead of, it's like a yes and.
Absolutely. Yes. I really I got this tip from hearing about like the toxic gratitude, because there's a thing like that. And I never realized it, but like when I was first starting my spiritual journey and I would talk to other people, I was
Hmm.
practicing toxic gratitude because I wasn't acknowledging the reality of what's going on. Like just because I'm on this high, you know, like high life of just spirituality and loving my life, like doesn't mean everybody else is like that.
Right.
And it's, of course, we want them to be like that because we got love for people and everything. But it's really understanding like what you have. And of course, with your mentality and your right mentality, you can get a lot more appreciation and love within your life. And I always and like this could look like people who have probably all met them. I have definitely been one of just like those people who are like too positive, like damn, like okay, like I
Right.
didn't mean for this whole entire conversation. I just said I wasn't feeling good. Like
Right.
um and like we love those people. We got love for y'all. We've definitely probably been those people before. But it's really just we deserve to also understand the reality that we're currently in.
Hmm.
Um, and when you think about reality, I feel like the that gratitude and those affirmations can really come into work so good to you and so right for you. And
Right.
that's just a tip of like when, y'all go on to your own gratitude practices of just like, still staying in reality. Understand there's also other people who are still navigating through their own, you as well. I mean, I for sure have been through my ups and downs of like high, good spiritual energy. And then there's also those times where I'm like, damn, I got humbled, bro. Like I'm grounded now. So yeah, that's just like a tip for sure. And I'm really happy that we're talking about it. And like Lay said, the yes and.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then so some practices that Lay and I have wrote down for y'all. One of the practices that you can do is mantra and affirmations. Really, I know probably a lot of folks are familiar with affirmations. I know we are. But kind of just thinking and calling in that gratitude or what you're grateful for, or even, the yes and energy. Just saying, I am gratitude, I am love, I am blessed, I'm protected, I'm abundant, and X, Y, and Z. That's a good practice that I love dearly to my heart.
Yeah. Daily daily mantras and affirmations. I think this also, it reconditions us in terms of like how we think of ourselves and how we talk about ourselves. So that's what I feel like
Mm,
affirmations are, they're about what we
yeah.
already have within us. And
Yeah.
so we talked a lot about like the gratitude for external things or things that others do for us. But I think there's also important for us to have that internal reflection of like gratitude for the things we already are and that are
Mm-hmm.
inherently a part of our own being.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Love that. I love that.
Yeah, I usually meditate on the same affirmations all month. I'll do either a month or like moon cycles, just so I
You
could really
know,
like get it in my head.
like it's imprinted in your brain cells.
For real, for real.
So I actually never done that before, but Instagram there's one Instagram profile that always comes out with the most prettiest visuals ever, but they also come out with monthly affirmations for your zodiac sign.
Mm.
And I actually just I took a screenshot. Oh, they're called at the Pulp Girls. Really cute stuff, but I actually screenshotted mine and then it's my wallpaper for November.
Oh, nice. I like that. Gratitude
Yeah.
or affirmations as your wallpaper. Yeah,
Yes. And it's just like
I like that.
so cute. And they'll do it with like the months. So like November, it's like nice and cozy and like it really just fits like your zodiac sign. It's really cute.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So share another practice with us.
Okay, let's keep it going. Another practice that I or that we added here um, is just being able to like listen to speeches on
Hmm.
gratitude. So
Yeah.
not just thinking about things that we are grateful for, but even being able to get insight from others of like what are all of the things that other people are grateful for.
Yeah.
Because it's not all about us.
No, yes. While I was also, or I've done this before, but with meditation, I don't know how you meditate, like, but I cannot meditate without it being guided.
Really.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
I actually
there's
don't like
actually
guided meditations.
really, yeah,
I
you're
don't
for
like
sure resilient, bro, because
it.
I just can't shut off my brain.
It's
Um,
hard.
it's so hard. It's so hard. I'll definitely eventually master it, but
I'm
I
gonna
can't.
send you this worksheet I have about the phases of meditation. It takes
Oh,
real I think the only reason I've been able to get to this place is because I've been meditating for so long.
yes. Link it down below if you can.
Yes, I
I'm pretty
will.
sure
I
other folks
will.
would love, or I'm definitely probably not the only one. Um, but with guided meditation, there was a lot of videos that came up with the theme just being gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And I could definitely link some of my favorite ones too, but those are also like speeches, as well as the guided meditation. And then I know this next one, you're probably digging it because Leigh and I love writing. But another practice is create a gratitude journal. Um, or just, you really honestly don't have to create a whole entire journal for just gratitude. I like to just write in my regular schmegular journal, but having a little section out every day. Um, yeah, so like a gratitude journal is just I like to do like five little like set time aside and then like I said, maybe write down 1 to 5 things of what I'm grateful for. And maybe like sometimes speak a little more on it.
Yeah,
Here.
I only the let me see. I have how we have our planners? We're like
Yeah,
diligent all up in our planners every day.
for
I don't
sure,
have a
for
whole
sure.
journal on my gratitude, but I know every day in my planner I have like a little corner dedicated to one thing I'm grateful for. So like
Yeah.
anytime that I'm in my planner, I'll at least write like and be really thoughtful and intentional, either at the beginning of my day or the end of the day or whenever I remember of like
Hmm.
one thing like, damn, this is really, I'm really grateful for this particular thing today.
Yes. Yes. Even there's a thing like monthly gratitude of like what were you grateful for that happened, this month, like monthly reflections and stuff like that. Yeah. Love that.
Yeah, I think just even the one thing, whenever you have time of day, it just makes it so easy, and it could have
Mm-hmm.
such a, no matter how regularly or frequently somebody decides to do it, at least we're working on shifting our mindset or focusing on our mindset to like be open to those things.
Exactly. We rewire your brain, like Robert
Yeah,
Emmons say.
yeah, exactly. The next thing is being able to lean into the external things that are around us and just even the natural things,
Mm-hmm.
especially nature, right? Like nature is just God given. And sometimes like learning to be thankful for the things that we have absolutely no control over, but even benefit from
Mm-hmm.
is is really important, like you were saying, look at how beautiful this little tree is, all of the colors of
My
the leaves
abuela.
now. Or like
Yeah.
even during fall and the leaves get all crunchy and we kind of like take pleasure
Ah,
in stepping
love
all over
it.
the leaves.
Girl, I
I'm
just said it this
especially,
morning.
did you?
I was like, oh my God, mom. I was on the phone with my mom and I was like, oh my gosh, I wish you could see these trees right
Right. No, I'm especially obsessed with sunrises and sunsets. So
now. Ooh,
that's
yes.
like one thing. I have an album. I have an entire wall dedicated to sunrise and sunset photos I've taken over the years.
Yeah.
Um, and there's just
And
so much beauty in like the mundane things. And when you learn to appreciate
yeah.
those like mundane things, I feel like, I don't know, for me at least, it just brightens up my attitude. Like if I'm having a rough day, and I can feel myself starting to get a bad attitude or being all uptight,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on a walk. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
sit on my porch and I'm gonna stare at the sky or the the stars or whatever it is for a little while.
Yes.
Um,
And those are the
and it
things that
made
are
me
like given to us by birth,
exactly,
you know?
exactly right. Like we didn't have to do nothing to benefit off this
Yeah.
good earth and
Right.
the beautiful sights that we just could take in and even the parks,
Yeah.
but it made me think about glimmers. This particular point made me think
Yes.
about glimmers,
Put us
which is the
on.
opposite. A glimmer is the opposite of a trigger. So whereas triggers cause you
Interesting.
to feel heightened anger or rage or dismay or worry or fear, glimmers are the things that trigger a sense of joy or happiness or pleasure. And so, similar to what you said earlier of, teaching ourselves to scan the world for positive instead of negative things, like glimmers are noticing the things in our lives or around us that just bring us a sense of pleasure and joy and happiness and like being able to name those things and acknowledge those things.
Yes, glimmers. Ah, that's so
Glimmer.
cute. I love that. And like even that word is gonna open up like my brain into noticing glimmers now and not
Right,
only triggers.
right.
Oh, I love that. Um, as well as um as well as going to external, another thing is what I've noticed is like physical scanning. And that's another thing that we sometimes work for them, but we're also born with them, was like our bodies. So instead of just like thinking of like materialistic things or whatever, another little practice I like is just like I'm really grateful for like my working hands. Like I'm so grateful for them, or I'm grateful for like my legs and getting me to point A to point B. Just being grateful for what you have and not like have bought or whatever all the time. It's just like, just welcoming what you already have, or even for like my fit folks and stuff, right? Uh there was a time where I was always trying to, like, I was working out like constantly, and I was like getting healthy and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of times, I wasn't happy with my body still. Like I was doing everything and anything. And I was like, yo, what's going on? Like, I just started feeling a little more like insecurity. And although I was working a lot on myself, and I came to a realization, I was like, hold on, I can't even work on myself without being thankful and appreciative of what the body I have right now. Because really I'm eating healthy, I'm going to work out just to like improve it, but it's not like this, I can't have this like hatred towards it. Like I had to appreciate how far my body has come just so I could like continue working on it and loving on it and not just like, thinking of it as just like whatever. So yeah, physical scanning gratitude. And then this next one, Lay already kind of talked about your favorite, but yeah, another
Yeah.
practice.
Just being able to talk to other people, I think, in the same way that what's that saying? One rotten apple can spoil the whole bunch. I think
I never heard that.
the more we talk about gratitude and the more we kind of like share, instead of telling others what they should be grateful for, it's just sharing
Hmm.
our own gratitude with others and,
Hmm.
making it a point to talk about the things that we are grateful for, whether it's, who they are in our lives, what they've done in our lives, or just naming the things that we are grateful for ourselves, right? Like sometimes
Hmm.
if I'm feeling super open and a stranger asks me, "Oh, how am I doing?" and I'm like, "I'm blessed." I might
Hmm.
also be like, "I'm blessed. I got a roof over my head. I'm able to get my groceries today. It's
Hmm.
sunny outside." You know what I mean? Like even just those little things of spreading that energy could have such a great ripple effect on
Absolutely.
our community and like society in the world.
Or even telling somebody's that their food was good.
Hell
Okay.
yeah. Let me
Yes.
know.
Yes. And just being vocal and like practicing that throat chakra of just, not just writing it or going into your head, but like physically saying it out loud so you can put it out in the world.
Hmm.
Yeah, just keeping us along. Few more practices for y'all is morning and evening prayers. Um, so, religion, you wake up and everybody has some type of like devotion of
Hmm.
um just really sitting with whatever higher power I feel like you believe in, and just being thankful or like just praying to somebody out there that's gonna listen to us. And really just welcoming that in. I personally love to do it in the morning times. Um and sometimes in the evenings, but like if it's an evening, I really just say like thank you God, and then like I'll go to sleep.
Hmm.
But really it's like it depends on like the person of creating that schedule, that
Yeah.
schedule. And I know like you have a lot of like things settled in now, so I'm really interested on how you do your evening and morning prayers.
Yeah, I'm really diligent about prayer. I try my best to pray every morning and every night. And before I even pray for the things that I want for myself or for others, I pray and give thanks for the things that I have
Mm.
and that God has done in my life. In the morning is a very personal time. I feel like for me, being in conversation with and like speaking to God is really important to do on a regular and
Hmm.
shit. Sometimes even when I'm in situations where I feel like stuck, I'm like, oh damn, I don't know what to do, but I really
Hmm.
have to figure things out. Um, those moments, I'll say a quick prayer and just kind of let it go, and it makes it
Hmm.
easier for me to like let it go, even when I feel a
Yeah.
lot of pressure around. I got to do something. But every morning for me is a really personal time, so that's when I'm in prayer myself by myself usually. But nighttime is really special to me because every night is a time that I have prayer with my boys, and we have certain prayers that we do that's like by the book and by the Bible, like traditional prayers that I grew up doing in ritual.
Hmm.
But after we do all of those, we each take turns saying all the things that we're thankful for and that we're grateful for. And it's so funny sometimes hearing my youngest one. He'll be like, "Thank you for the wall, thank you for the window, thank you for my foot."
Aw.
Like, like
Like,
just the
period. Going
most
back to the
just the most
basics.
random things. And and he'll be so serious.
Aw. That's going back to the basics
Oh,
for real.
for real, for real. So it's something that I just love being able to do with my boys. I have my time for myself in
Mm.
the morning, and then I have that time I'm trying to instill these things in my children too, like all the things that they ask for and that they want us to do, like don't forget to have time to think about and name the things that you already have and are grateful for. So yeah,
Love that.
that's all our little tips and practices.
Yes, yes. And yeah, I'm really happy we did this. My heart is feeling lots of full, and even just looking around, I'm like, oh, I'm like so grateful.
Grateful for my foot stand.
I'm grateful for my foot stand. I'm grateful for water. Like, I'm grateful for this beautiful window in my room. Like, come on now.
Hey, let's just do a quick little brain dump. All the things we're grateful for. Let's go back and forth. You know that game that we do where it's like we gotta
Like
go
hot.
fast,
Uh-huh,
like
uh-huh,
that
uh-huh.
hot seat kind of thing.
Okay, okay, okay. Should we do like five?
Okay, just before you close out. Okay, before you
Five or
close
three?
out. Whatever,
Five or
however
three?
many.
Let's do five. Let's do five. Like make it a little difficult. Okay, okay, okay. I'll start. I'm grateful for my meditation corner.
I'm grateful for mine too, because I'm sitting in it right now.
I'm grateful for comfy pillows.
I am grateful for my beautiful bed frame.
Ooh. I'm grateful for my family.
I am grateful to have healthy sons.
I'm grateful for those laughs that like hurt your stomach.
I'm grateful for all of the traveling that I was able to do this year.
Ooh. I am grateful for this beautiful conversation that we had today.
Hey, I am grateful to be doing life's like to be making a living doing work that I like thoroughly enjoy and feel passionate and fulfilled by.
Period. Yes. Challenge. All the listeners need to comment down five things that they're grateful for.
Oh, we should add that to the community, but like gratitude challenge. That should be damn near like an energizer or icebreaker.
That should open up
Gratitude
the
challenge.
space with gratitude. Yes. Comment down, comment down. Well, thank you y'all for listening to us. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Peace by 10 for all the content, delicious content.
Yes. Subscribe to
Um,
our YouTube.
yes, don't forget to subscribe, y'all, okay? And check out that blog, okay? Every third Friday. We also got some things in the works as well, some topics that we're going to have. We're also in the process of trying to expand our platform. So maybe you could catch us on Spotify, Apple Music, or something. So look forward to that on the new year. And up next, we're going to have a series of the dimensions of wellness. Lay and I have definitely mentioned this. So Yes, that's something to look forward to. And yeah, we wish everybody a healthy and more blessed holiday season.
Yes, people stay well, stay healthy, stay blessed, and more importantly, stay grateful.
Period. Yes. Have a good one, y'all. Happy holidays.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
See you next year.